I've seen a lot of crazy reactions on the internet, but this might take the cake for me. This might take the cake for me, especially when you consider what is going on right now. It's a holiday season. If you live in the United States of America, there's a good chance that you're eating turkey tomorrow. Kringle is about to come down the chimney. Spread holiday cheer to you and yours. But what are people doing? There are grown men right now that have pledged allegiance to a certain console for some reason, essentially being free marketing for multi-billion-dollar companies that have decided that they're ruining their holiday season with these reactions because there's an outcry from diehard Nintendo and Nintendo-only fanboys about system sales for a 20-plus-year-old system. And there are people that are perpetuating this stuff. There are people that are gaslighting this stuff. And I'll talk about that individual person as we get a little bit deeper into this video and the disgusting Ultra HDMI N64 that they sent me. But what is this? What is happening here? We're talking about a system that released over 20 years ago, the sales data of that, and Nintendo fanboys are losing their minds over this. So what's happening? Let's just jump into it, baby. So Sony is celebrating their 30th anniversary right now. 1994, they entered the console market with the PlayStation 1 because Nintendo decided to work with Philips instead of Sony. So Nintendo is kind of to thank for Sony existing in the console marketplace. And look, Sony's had ups, Sony's had downs, Sony's had lulls, Sony's had middle places, but there has been great stuff from Sony. And I personally am very glad that they did enter the console market. Things like the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2, top to bottom are just phenomenal systems. There was great stuff on the PS3, the PS4. PS5's been a little slow for my liking, but, maybe that'll change. But they're celebrating their 30th anniversary. A celebration. But not everyone is celebrating because Nintendo fanboys, well. So here's what we got here. A little thing released in 2000, March 4th in Japan, October 26th. Here's a nice little picture of it here. Another nice little picture of it here. But here's the problem. Here's what has everyone freaking out. Because Sony, which hasn't given updated sales numbers for the PlayStation 2 in a very long time, because it didn't matter, Sony has decided to let people know, hey, you know what? There was actually an update to the sales numbers. It's 160 million. Now, you or I looks at 160 million. You're like, wow, the PlayStation 2, one of the best-selling systems of all time. It is the best-selling system of all time. And yeah, it probably did sell a little bit more than what was last reported because there were still PlayStation 2s that were out there to be sold. But Nintendo fans see this as something completely different. They see this as an attack because the Nintendo Switch is gearing up to come close to these numbers. So that is why Sony announces, not because it's their 30th anniversary. No, has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with the celebration of them. It's because they don't want Nintendo to pass them with the Switch. And there are grown men that are saying things like this. There are grown men that are questioning whether or not this number is real. Because I'm sure Sony is going to lie about how many consoles they sold. I'm sure that's very high on their priority list. This wasn't a press release sort of thing. This was a throwaway announcement in a celebration for the PlayStation 2. Of course, people like to bring up the DVD thing. Oh, it was just a cheap DVD player, and that's why it sold. That's such a stupid thing to say. That is such a stupid thing to say because you could say similar things about the Nintendo Switch. You could say, well, the reason the Switch sold so well is because we had a pandemic and people were buying the Nintendo Switch like crack cocaine. And that was one of the highest selling points of the system because everyone was stuck in their house. Like, the DVD player was smart. Like, why didn't another company put in a cheap DVD player onto their system to help sell it? I don't think many people bought this system. I personally was around during the PlayStation 2 era because I'm an old man. Nobody I know bought this as just a DVD player. Maybe somebody's parents did, but then they still played games on the system because they had this system in their house. But 160 million. This is what people are mad. There are conspiracy theories flying around out there. They're lying about this. And it's all these strange Nintendo diehard grown-ass men that are in their feelings about this. And I have to ask something. Let's focus in on me here. Who sells the most hamburgers? McDonald's. Does that mean that McDonald's hamburgers are the best? No. I don't necessarily think that high sales equate high quality. Now, usually they go hand in hand, but there are lots of instances where that is not necessarily the case. Case in point, McDonald's hamburgers. Its availability, its cheapness, it's an attractive thing for people to do. I don't think Sony is sitting there like, we finally got them. We got 160 million sold. Now the Switch will never outsell us. Because realistically, if Nintendo gave a damn about outselling the PlayStation 2, they have an ace up their sleeve. They could easily lower the price of the Nintendo Switch after the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2, along with the Nintendo Switch Lite system. Half those prices in half, and then boom, you got nothing to worry about. People will buy those hand over fist. And especially if you had variants of them, too, that did something a little bit different or had a little bit of a different ergonomic design or something like that. But I don't think that Nintendo and Sony are sitting there worried about a 20-plus-year-old console. I just don't. Call me crazy. I think Nintendo is focused on their upcoming system. I think Sony is focused on the PlayStation 5. And then... you thought I was going to forget this. And then we have the gaslighter. The king gaslighter himself. This man sent me an Ultra HDMI N64 because I asked him to for a comparison video. And this was the most disgusting system I've ever seen in my life. Sticker residue. I don't know why there would be a sticker on an actual console. Crust. The possible fecal matter all over this thing. I had to clean it. That's how disgusting this system was. But good old Spawnwave made a video yesterday. Is Sony trolling Nintendo? No! All that does is perpetuate these fanboy mentalities that these grown men have, where they love a system so much that it's all they care about. They build their whole personality around it. There's something wrong with that. You could be a fan of something, but understand, not everything is sunshine and farts. But a lot of video game diehard fanboys don't realize that. They don't. For whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that's such a controversial thing to say, that your company is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And this is how we're celebrating our holiday season, by being grown-ass men and going online and complaining about this. About the PlayStation 2, arguably the greatest console of all time. Let's be realistic. Look at that software library. I mean, holy hell. Banger first party, banger third party, exclusive games. Some of the best games of all time are on the PlayStation 2. You had quick turnaround times of development, which allowed for multiple sequels if a game was successful. You had smaller middleware games because game budgets were not super high during that time frame like they were, for the decades to come and stuff like this. Phenomenal system. I wish it sold 200 million. I wish it sold 500 million. Like, who cares? Why does this have any bearing on your enjoyment of your platform? Why would you think that Sony would lie about this? Because of people like Spawnwave. That's why. If this bothers you so much, you need Jesus and you need therapy. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You need Jesus and you need therapy, because there's something inside of you that needs to be let out. Because I think this extends beyond just system sales. Because I don't think any functioning person of society would get that worked up about system sales, about plastic boxes that have no bearing on your well-being. There's something else in there. And I, personally, hope you exorcise those demons. Let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. Are you surprised by people's reactions? Because maybe I shouldn't be. You know, maybe I shouldn't be. This is pretty much status quo for these console warriors that you see online. Ride or die. Weird. It's weird stuff, man. It's weird stuff. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. I probably won't upload tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Maybe I will. I don't know. It depends. So enjoy your Thanksgiving if you live in the United States. If you don't, enjoy your Thursday. I'm going to eat copious amounts of turkey and stuffing over at my uncle's house. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Seek help! Later.